La Terrain are a very small micro brand that basically nobody has heard of. I've made a few videos here on my channel where I've given away a couple of their watches. However, this is the first time that I'm featuring one of their own original designs. This is their Heritage Racer. It's a chronograph. It gets a hand wound movement, a DLC coating, and you're getting a pretty incredible package for the money. This is a good looking race inspired chronograph, and I have one hands-on to show you guys. So let's flip the camera and take a look at the La Terrain Heritage Racing chronograph. So here is the watch, and the first thing I noticed about this watch when I took it out of the box is the bracelet. This is getting their premium bracelet upgrade. So essentially all that means is that the watch comes with a mesh bracelet. It's a nice mesh bracelet. I have it right over here. I'll show you that in just a few minutes. It's not molded to the case or anything like that. It's somewhat of a standard mesh bracelet. This is a very thick bracelet. Look how thick these links are. And the screws in this bracelet are huge. You could use a Phillips screwdriver, like a real Phillips screwdriver, to get these out. The screws are huge. You also get a very big buckle on here, which is signed the brand's name, and you get on the fly micro adjust. You get about an entire link of adjustability. It's a little bit tight, so I will say that, but it's there, and at this price, that is very good. We'll talk about price in just a few minutes, but it feels like a tank in your hands. It's very heavy. This is getting a hand wound movement inside. It's getting the ST1902. That is basically a Chinese version of a vintage Venus movement. Venus would go on to become Valjoux. So this is a hand wound movement that gets a column wheel. It's a really reliable movement. It's a really great movement to look at, especially for an affordable watch. It's always great to get a hand wound movement that you could see from the back. This gets a sapphire crystal on the back, so you get to see the movement as well. I like that. This is obviously an all black watch. It is DLC coated, so it gets an extra hard coating on the case, on the bracelet, the bezel, the pushers. All of it is DLC coated, which is a diamond-like coating. It's in black. You do have different finishes throughout the case and the bracelet. Well, the bracelet is mostly brushed. There's a couple of small polished elements like the edge on this clasp right there. That is polished. But other than that, not too much polish on the bracelet, which I actually like. It's the case. So the case gets a bunch of polish on the bezel, and you're getting polish on the sides of the watch. Also, the pushers, the crown, those are all polished. So it's not flashy. I wouldn't say it's flashy, but there's a little bit of polish. The other thing about a black polished watch, a DLC black polished watch, once you touch the side of the watch, you're going to have a fingerprint. So that is a little bit annoying. That's less noticeable on the bezel, but the bezel is very nice on this watch. You have a bezel with a tachometer. That is lume. This is a black and white theme. Now, not really white. It's more like an off-white, almost like a pale yellow. So the chronograph registers, those are in that pale yellow. And then you have a chapter ring that's in a pale yellow. You're getting a lot of lume here. So the hands are lumed. You have a red seconds hand with a little lollipop. That's lumed as well. And then all of the indices are lumed. You also get lume in that bezel. I will say the hands are a little bit on the smaller side, and they do disappear a little bit on the dial. Although it's legible, I wouldn't say it's the most legible watch that you've ever owned. Sizing on this watch, I measured it in at 41.8 millimeters, and you do have a 51 millimeter lug to lug. That's on a strap. On a bracelet, it's almost 55 millimeters. If you wear it on any of the straps, obviously the mesh bracelet as well, which has a flat end, that will wear like that 51 millimeters. So it does have a pretty big lug to lug for a watch that's just under 42 millimeters. Also, I measured it in at around 12.7 millimeters thick. That's including the sapphire crystal on the front and back. The sapphire crystal is just slightly raised above the bezel, so that's included in that 12.7 millimeters. The one thing I will say is that the crown is on the smaller side. It's 5.6 millimeters. It doesn't screw down. You do get 100 meters of water resistance. I would like to see a slightly larger crown, so it's a little bit easier to wind. It's not hard to wind at all. It's pretty grippy. I think it would look a little bit better as well. A larger crown always looks good to me. Maybe that's just me. On my wrist today, I have another chronograph. This is yet another hand-wound chronograph. This is powered by a Sellita 510, I think it is. However, this is a mono pusher chronograph that is hand-wound from Sellita. This is a Vulcane Heritage Chrono mono pusher. And there it is on my 7.5 inch wrist. This is a 41.8 millimeter watch. It's around 13 millimeters thick, just under 13 millimeters thick at 12.7 millimeters. And then the lug to lug. The lug to lug will bother some with smaller wrists than me. I have a 7.5 inch wrist. You have those male end links. So this is a 55 millimeter lug to lug with those male end links. Without on a strap, it comes in at around 51 millimeters. So this will wear large on smaller wrists. So quickly, I want to run through price and then we will do a loom shot. The standard package, you get these 3 straps. You get the metal mesh bracelet, you get the Cav leather perforated strap, and then the NATO strap. That comes in at $374. If you want to add in this bracelet right here, the flat link bracelet, that comes in at $411. So basically, you're getting 4 bracelet options, straps and bracelets at $411, or you only get 3 at $374. I would definitely go for the flat link bracelet because it is very solid, very big, very thick. It's a really nice bracelet for just a couple of dollars more. I definitely would recommend it. An impressive amount of loom on this watch. Obviously, all of the indices are loomed. That 12 o'clock is loomed at the 12 o'clock index. And then the hands are loomed as well. Also, the little pip on the second hand, that is loomed. So you're getting a lot of loom here. And you know, you have that off-white dial, that off-white black and white dial. Looks really good. Some people are not going to like it. It looks kind of vintage colored. It's definitely a modern watch. It looks like a modern watch. It doesn't look like it's, they call it a heritage racer, but I don't think it's vintage inspired. Really, it looks like a modern watch in my opinion. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. You also have that tachometer. That is loomed, so the bezel is loomed on here. So lots of loom going into it. Lots of straps come with it as well. So for around $375, you get 3 straps. That's including a mesh bracelet. And then of course, if you want to upgrade to the flat link bracelet, that brings it to $411. I think that's a pretty good price. The only complaints that I would have about this watch is that I wish the hands were a little bit bigger. So the hour and minutes hand, I wish they were a little bit bigger so it would be a little bit more legible. And then of course that crown, I wish that crown was larger because I think it would look better. Also, it would be easier to wind the watch because this is a hand wound chronograph. You will have to wind it pretty often. It would be nice to have a very large crown on this watch. I think it would look good as well. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I will put a link to the La Touraine website down in the description. So definitely check them out if you are interested in this watch. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for joining me today. I will catch you guys in the next video.